Hello, everyone. It's my Friday weekend wind down show. Um, little nervous today because my son is doing a takeover, meaning he's going to actually ask me questions. So I'm waiting for him to come on, and then we'll go from there. So I wanted to let you know, let's say, what wine am I drinking today? Let me show you while I bring Caden on. I'm not a red not a red wine drinker, but didn't have any white wine in the house, and we had this beautiful, thanks to my boyfriend Richie, we had a beautiful Cabernet.
Hello.
Hello, Caden. I'm showing the wine I'm drinking. Cabernet Sauvignon from Roanoke Vineyard. Ew. This
Blanchard.
thanks to my boyfriend Richie. He's a Roanoke Vineyard member, so we always get some really nice wines from there. So let me adjust my chair a little bit and let me share to the Facebook pages. So little scared today. Came on a little bit early because it's a busy week. But yeah, this is a Caden takeover.
This is a takeover. This is official takeover
So,
where I'm going to ask the real questions
oh
that
no.
everyone wants to know the answers
All
to.
right, well, let me share to my business page because normally you do that for me, but since you're on, I'm going to do it for me. And let's get that going. Okay, share to my business page, and then I got to share to my personal page. Okay, so I'm a little scared. This is my son, Caden, who also works for me as my everything. So I can't even tell you what he does for me because he helps me strategize. He does my ClickFunnels landing pages. He's my strategist. He's my, when I have a complete panic
We're
attack.
basically like partners a little bit sometimes.
Listen, you want to be partners in the good times and not partners in the bad times, like any good child
Yeah.
wants to be. Okay, hold on. I just got to share to my group if I can find now because the way my thing is.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask my first question.
Uh-oh. All right, go ahead. Ask your first question. Be kind to your mother.
Okay. How many hours do you actually work a week?
Let's see. You could probably answer that better than I did because well, even though you were living out of the house for a couple of years, now you're back, and leaving again in a week. But I, 80?
Yeah, I would say
Double what most
I would
people work in the
say
office job?
I would say anytime you're awake, you're working.
Unless Richie gets me out of the house. Thank God for him. Well, no, come on. He still keep up with laundry and dishes and an occasional meal
You
here and there.
do. You do. But it's like I'll wake up at like, you know, 10 o'clock or sometimes I'm awake early. Hi, Sam
Hi,
Kings.
Sam.
Um, and I like haven't had my coffee yet. And she rattles off like eight different things that I'm like, I haven't had coffee yet. Don't don't talk to me.
Yeah, see, my mind really. I do sleep. I do sleep most of the time. But hi, Elizabeth. Um, but yeah, most of the time my mind is going as constantly new business ideas, ways I can help my clients, new programs we should create, new content I want to create, and I'm a really organized person most of the time. But like with this coaching business, I feel like I'm so excited all the time. I mean, sometimes I get down too, but I'm so excited to like learn and teach and help other people grow their businesses. Hi, Elizabeth. Oh my God, I love Elizabeth. I love you,
Oh,
Elizabeth.
I love Elizabeth too.
Elizabeth,
I was telling mom the other day, Elizabeth, that I really love your accent.
I love your accent. I love your attitude. I love the words you use. So for those of you who don't know, I might be derailing some of your questions here. I don't know. I am the president
That's okay.
of the Interior Design Society virtual chapter starting in January, but we've already started to have board meetings, and Elizabeth is my vice president, and I just can tell we are just going to have so much fun. We're going to have so much fun with this. So go ahead.
So that ties into one of my questions. What are you most excited about for 2018? Or like what do you have in the making?
What do I have in the making? I have so many things in the making. How can you ask me that question? Okay, so I have one, the Interior Design Society, IDS virtual chapter. It's brand new to the IDS. I was the president of the Long Island chapter and a member there for years and helped it grow, and love these guys. They are doing such an incredible job. Since I haven't been president, they've grown it even bigger and better. And now I get to do it virtually, which is so cool. I mean, to me, the technology, as much as it scares me, is going to allow us to reach so many more people. So the IDS virtual chapter can be for people who don't live near a local chapter of the IDS, and we can bring them together for collaborations. We can bring them together for friendships. We're going to do charity events and socializing, and it's
And we've really
education.
found so much cool technology to make that happen.
Well, and
You know what I mean?
it's
Like the raffle copter, like you can just host online raffles with hundreds of people and get um just immediate prizes. Like it's insane.
oh, oh, Elizabeth, you're sitting in an arcade with your kiddos, and it's loud, so you have to. We'll talk louder. I'll put it closer. But yeah, and that's one of the technologies that Elizabeth turned us on to, and then of course because we run an online I run, and you're my tech support. We run an online coaching business, and the technology we use in my coaching business is now going to apply to the virtual chapter. So I'm really excited about that. So that was one.
That's one.
Two, I'm excited to kind of roll out new programs for interior designers. I basically have what I tell no one to do. I have two target markets, and when I when I teach my clients, I'm like, have a target market. Well, I have two. One of my target markets are interior design industry professionals, which includes interior designers and those who serve them, which because of my background is where I have a tremendous amount of expertise. And then my other expertise now is coaching other coaches to do what I do, and how I increase my visibility, and how I get clients, and how I market myself and close sales. Like this is something I want to teach almost every coach that I come into. So
Yes. So
that's
that ties good into my question. So tell me about the first coach you ever hired.
okay. But wait, one more thing I'm excited about. I'm
Okay.
just going back 1 second. I'm excited that I'm selling my house, even though that's a sad thing for me sometimes. I am excited that I am moving on to my next stage of life. I'll be 53 next Friday. So next weekend wind down is my birthday, by the way. So I'm doing it from
Oh,
wherever
you
I
got to get a
are.
special
I
guest.
had to
Yeah.
get, you know what? I have to maybe do it in maybe I'll do it in the Joe Hecker style, and just have people call in and just chat. If anyone thinks that would be cool, let me know. But so I'm excited about a move to Atlanta near my sister, Alpharetta, Georgia. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to add a kind of 50 plus women support component to what I do, which is so exciting to me with everything I've been through. Um, uh, I'm just so excited about those things. Okay, so next question was, what did I think about the very first coach I hired?
Yeah.
Okay, so I
Mm-hmm.
hired my first coach because she was so inspirational, so motivating. She basically sold on lifestyle, which was interesting because I don't usually get sucked up into that stuff. But she really was so confident in what she was teaching. And I thought, you know what? I'm going from having, uh, yes, I'm moving to Georgia, Elizabeth. Um, so thank you. Thank you for my early birthday wishes. And I thought she's doing it really well, this online coaching space, and I needed to learn how to do that. So I hired her. What did I love about her? Is that was the question? Was that the question?
Well, just tell me about it. Like, how, can I ask you to reveal how much it cost?
Oh,
Because it still blows my mind.
it was in the 700s a month. Like, I don't remember the exact number because I think I blocked it out. But it was a deposit, and then like I think it was over $750 a month. And that wasn't one-on-one. That was to be in a group of 200 people. And I thought to myself, I'll be speaking like you in no time. Yes, Alpharetta, Georgia, I'm going to just absorb their accents. I don't know. Can you get rid of this New York accent? I don't think you ever can, but you never know. So I hired a coach. It was a deposit, a 1-year commitment, over $750 a month to be in a group of 200 people. And I thought, this is awesome. I started out all motivated, and I quickly started to realize that, hi, Laura. I started to realize that I was in a smaller group of what I would call like experienced business women. And then the larger group was not as experienced, maybe, at least from what I could tell, because I was older. There was a contingent of us that were older. But when I started to put into practice the system that she was putting into place, at some point I thought, this is brutal, you know? Oh,
Yeah.
Laura says hi.
Hi.
It was brutal to pull off. It was killing my life completely. And even though I'm a workaholic, I still found it was really hard. And what I found difficult was when I wanted to switch gears and turn my business into more my own feeling, what I was comfortable doing, expanded in different ways. I couldn't get that one-on-one coaching that I needed to get advice on how to do that. It was very much, did you do our system? Did you
Yeah,
repeat
it's
our
very
system?
much like my way or the highway in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't show you the highway, but they had nothing else to give you. Oh, you're going to miss me if I'm going to miss you too. But we'll be on the phone all the time, Laura. So there was no way to go with the additional questions I had and how I wanted to expand my business in different ways. So I felt like I was stuck in this system of doing a 21-person interview summit and then do it again, and then becoming an expert and nurturing my list. And then it was like, okay, now do it again. I had no way to go with other questions. So I found that to be a little stifling at being experienced growing businesses. So that was what was frustrating to me. But I have to tell you, I still go back to this coach that I hired. She has morning coffees, Shanda Sumter. She has morning coffee with Shanda on her page. And you know what? She's a really loving, giving person, and she does know what she's talking about. It's just wasn't for me in the long run, but I did learn a lot. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, and I think something that's like important to note is like out of the 200 people that were in that program with you, so many of them failed, but what you have inside you that I've always admired is like you're like, I'm paying 700 and something dollars a month. I'll be damned if I fail out of this. So you made it work
Yeah.
even though you had to do a lot of outside learning. And that's something, I mean, you've built 3 successful businesses. You're not new to this. And you always said to me, like, I love building things. Like, that's what gets you going. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't exactly the right fit for you, but I think even while you recognized that early, you still made it work.
Yes, and thank you for saying that. That's absolutely true, because I'm definitely like, if I'm paying that much money, I'm going to learn whatever I can from this business model. I'm going to implement. I am always learning. That's part of what makes me not sleep at night.
She's crazy.
I'm a little crazy. I I love learning, and then I love teaching. And I love, the fact that expressive living art and accessories and framing, I said that backwards, lasted 15 years in my life is actually a surprise to me. Because once I get a business up to really successful, I get a little bored. So it was the perfect transition now for me to go, well, what do I love doing? I love building businesses. So why don't I just help everyone else build their business? And then when they're ready to fly on their own, they fly on their own, and I can step out and build multiple businesses together with people simultaneously. So this is why I love this space. So Did I answer your
Yeah.
question? I don't even know.
I think I think you did, and that also kind of ties into my next question, which is you love building things, but why do you find it so hard to stick to one business idea?
Because I have so many good ones. um, you know what? Because there's so much opportunity out there always. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
wait, that's a great opportunity. Oh, wait, that should work for that person. And because I'm always learning, I want to implement everything at once, which is, again, what I tell my clients never to do. Stick
yeah,
to
you
something.
literally I feel like I'm always like yelling at you to be like, I just built half a landing page and now you've changed your mind.
Listen,
Tell me what I need to
I never
do
said it was going to be easy
because
to be my VA.
I know.
I never lied to you. That's for sure. It works better when you don't live with me. So you're leaving on the
It's true.
30th, and that'll be better for you because you can filter me through the phone, and I filter my thoughts before I get on the phone.
Yeah,
When you live with me, it's like, my mouth is running all the time. Oh, I was thinking this, and I was thinking that, and I was thinking this
do
client
that
should
and
do
that.
that. Yeah, exactly. So I get it. I get it, but you still love me. I'm your mother.
So, of course. Now, do you ever doubt yourself? Like, do you doubt that you're in the right space?
Oh, every day. Listen, I know how much I can teach people and I know how far I can take them, but insecurity always creeps in. Because if you have one client who just decides to not do the work or decides their life is too overwhelming, they can't put the focus into it, you start thinking, well, then maybe I failed by not being able to get them focused and motivated. And in the end, a lot of the times people are dreamers, and you taught me that, actually people are dreamers as opposed to doers. And kind of like the Dr. Phil's statement, how's that working for you? You can say that to somebody, what you've done the last 10 years or 3 years of your business, how's that working for you? And they go, not so well, but yet they still fall back into the same patterns, and they're not able to sustain change, so to speak. Like they'll try something that you're saying, but consistency is the key to any new thing you're
Yeah,
going to try. And some people just don't want to do it, don't think they want to
yeah.
do it, so they sign up and then they bail. So that's, to me, causes me sometimes to have doubt. Like, if I can't make
About yeah,
everyone successful, then does that mean I'm not good at what I do? But I use the tactics I teach my own clients on myself, which is, you know what? Go back to your testimonials. Go back to the clients that are successful. Realize that in the original group that I was in of 200 people, so many people couldn't finish because of what was happening in their lives, like real things. And those are valid items. You have a sick kid, you have sick parents, you get sick yourself, and yes, you can drive through and continue to move forward, which is what I always tell people to do. But sometimes the progress is slower. So sometimes that causes me to doubt myself. But I always go back to the fact that I know that I have so much knowledge to share, and I can help so many people improve their businesses. So that's what keeps me going. The clients that are making progress.
for sure. Now, do you have a favorite testimonial that you've ever gotten?
I have a lot of testimonials that I like, and they always make me feel so good. But a couple of weeks ago, the Interior Design Society Long Island chapter had their Christmas or holiday celebration, and one of my very first clients. Listen, I was fortunate that 8 people hired me almost overnight the minute I hung my coaching shingle, because I had previously managed and led that chapter. So interior designers and interior design industry partners hired me to help them grow their businesses the minute I said I'm now coaching, which was lovely. One of the clients that I first worked with for a year wanted to grow her business, almost double her business. And a lot of, I feel like I shouldn't name people because you never know if they want it to be said, but she came up to me and she said, oh my God, let me tell you what's going on with my business, and gave me the update on the entire business, which was continuing to like leap forward, after, you know, she went to a whole new level with coaching with me, and she's continuing. And she said to me, you are in my brain every single day. You are still with me every single day. And that was probably the greatest thing that anyone could say to me, because I don't want people to coach with me forever. I want people to learn from me and be able to kind of channel me, so to speak, so that
Yeah.
when they move forward, that I've taught them leadership, I've taught them decision making, I've taught them marketing skills, communication skills, and sales skills that will take them to the next level, even when they no longer are coaching with me. So that's always the goal, and that to me was my favorite.
Now, tell me about the group you've started on Facebook. It was originally Supersize Your Sales, but recently you made a change that I think is actually really indicative of like how you coach. And what's the new name?
Actionable entrepreneurs.
And why does that strike you as so important?
Because it's not always about how fast you up your business. It's not always about working 80 hours a week like I do. It's about taking action every single day to move yourself forward, and to learn every day something new, and to put a plan in place. You know, listen, you're my oldest. I had 3 children, and all of you had medical issues at times. And I still moved forward every day in running my business. That was the balance that I had in my life. So I
Yeah.
totally get when people have shit in their lives. And I totally get that you're not always going to grow your business at the same rate every year, but taking action every day is the first step. Like, what little thing can you do on a day that life is hitting you with all kinds of shit? Take one thing,
Yeah,
do one
it's
thing. And to me, what I try to teach everyone is to take action every single day. So Actionable Entrepreneurs is my private Facebook group. And I think that it fits me and what I try to teach my interior design clients and my coaching clients. Take action every day, whether it's learn something new, whether it's implement something. If you're committed to doing one Facebook post a day, just do it. You know, so just take
yeah.
action every day. So Actionable Entrepreneurs just felt better. I'm a sales maniac. I love sales. I love teaching sales. So Supersize Your Sales is the name of the group that I started, but I switched it to Actionable Entrepreneurs, and I just think it fits better.
I love the new name, and it actually I know I already told you this, but it's the Russell Brunson like let people identify themselves. So your group should be something that finishes the sentence, I am a like actionable entrepreneur. And since you made that change, the group numbers have been going up. It's really allowed you to start to reach the people who do actually want to take action and don't want to just be the dreamer. They want to actually be the doer. And
Yes.
that's who your ideal client is.
Yeah, you're so right. And it allows me to post in that group easier, right? Because if I called when I called it Supersize Your Sales, sometimes it'd be like, is this post right? Is it salesy?
Yeah.
Is it like, am I teaching sales? And when I changed it to Actionable Entrepreneurs, basically anything I post in there that helps people take action. So whether it's motivation, whether I'm teaching something, I'm giving a lesson, it all fits. Everything, it just fits. It fits me. So that's why I called it Actionable Entrepreneurs.
Definitely. Now, something I did want to ask you
Oh.
is for a year you've been no, 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 it's not bad. So for for a year you've been giving away free 20-minute strategy call sessions. But recently, or we're about to make the change to actually paid consultations in a sense.
Yeah,
And can you tell me a little bit about why we're doing that? You're
because my
doing that?
son said you spend 50 minutes to an hour and a half on every free 20-minute consultation, and you got to stop doing that, Mom. Yeah, you know what? The bottom line is I need to be, as a coach, I need to be learning all the time. As a coach, I need to be creating content all the time. I am on multiple summits, podcasts, my own weekend wind down, connecting, making connections everywhere, and being there for my clients, who my one-on-one clients can literally email me and text me. So what was happening is I was losing time by giving all those 20-minute free consultations. So for now, I've made the decision to give an extremely discounted price on the first 50 minutes somebody speaks to me. This way, we get to know each other. I get to know their business model. But to continue at this stage going into this year, I could just see with the connections I'm making and the amount of people getting on my calendar, I wouldn't be able to serve them well. And I'd rather than trying to shove in 20 minutes of value and then seeing if they want to work with me, I would rather just do the 50 minutes with them and give them value for that 50 minutes. And then they can decide whether they want to continue to work with me.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, so let's see. What are my other questions?
I have a question for you. I'm going
What
to
is,
turn it around on you,
uh-oh,
but
okay.
it'll be all about me still. You know that. So, what was it like growing up with a mother who was always an entrepreneur?
I think it was good because
Thanks for the
Lauren,
hearts.
and Kevin, Lauren, and Kevin, we all are have really strong business senses. Like, and I think you taught us that, like, I mean, even though you worked a lot, you were still like a great mom. And
Oh,
now,
Merry
like,
Christmas to me.
I'm starting my own business. My sister wants to go to Europe and be a kind of a business owner there. Kevin is doing his own thing with musical theater, but we all like have this thing where we're like, if we put our minds to something, it is accomplishable, but it's not going to be easy. But like, we don't hold these like self-defeating beliefs that a lot of people do. Like, none of us want to stay in our hometowns forever. We want to break out into the big bad world and like make a name for ourselves. You know what I mean? And if we hadn't had a parent who did that over and over and over again, I don't know if that would have been possible.
Oh, you're going to make me cry. But you know what? I do have clients who, and just free consultations that I've talked to parents, and they say, moms and dads, where I'm working so many hours, is it like there's such a conflict in them? And I always say it's really now that I can look back. And the time, I should say, I felt guilty that I worked a lot of hours, even though was always home, working from home. Um, but now that I'm there at you guys, 24, 22, and 18, and all of you have this business sense. And I remember saying to your sister, at one point she wanted to be a hairdresser. I'm like, that's awesome. You know what? Be a hairdresser. Just own the hair salon.
Yes.
Right. And now she wants to start this whole fashion travel combo. It's like incredible when I see how none of you are afraid.
Yeah, I've been helping my sister with building out her website. And you know, I've been saying things like, okay, you need an opt-in box where you give away some sort of ethical bribe. You get people's email addresses, and that allows you to go to sponsors and say, hey, I have an email list of 1,000 people. Now, will you sponsor my next post?
Right.
And she's like, oh my God, that's really smart. And I'm like, that's what me and mom do every day. We're thinking about ways to increase our email lists and do this and do that, but it's all involved with being a good business owner. Like, yeah, you can start a blog, you can be a fashion blogger, but you have to be freaking smart about it. You know what I mean? If you're gonna
Absolutely.
do it right. Have some leverage that you can then go to a company that you know to wants you to post about them. You have to be able to say, I have a list of 2,000 people that follow my
Or
journeys,
even more, right?
um,
You know, you need to,
or
I
even
know she's
more.
building her Instagram, right? She's building her Instagram. You need to
Hmm.
build your Instagram, which I've done completely naturally, slowly, never paid for any likes, um, learn some strategies. And you know what? I know I'm not. I'm small potatoes compared to some people. But you know what? I'm proud of myself that part-time myself, I've built it to almost 5,000. And
Yes, your Instagram.
you
Yeah.
know what? And that was just like a sidebar for me. That wasn't even my focus. And there's so many strategies that come into building a business, but I'm glad you guys have seen me build a couple of businesses. I'm glad you hear about the other, my clients that I'm helping them build businesses, and you are absorbing some of that. So any moms out there who feel guilty that they are working while their children are young, I just want to reassure them that in the end, my three all have a great business sense and are all going to be rock stars. They're already rock stars, but as you really come into your own, you're all have that business sense because you've watched me grow my businesses. So that was very cool to hear.
Yeah, for sure.
So thank you for telling
And
me that.
so what is one piece of advice you would give to somebody who is like just starting out in business? Like what's the what's the one piece of advice you would give them?
Only one? I only have one.
Or a
Um,
couple, you can have a couple.
okay, let me think. Yeah, know that it's going to be hard work. Anyone who's trying to sell you you can grow business and it's easy and 10-hour work week, and you know what, no, not in the beginning for sure. And I've never achieved the 10-hour work week, but maybe I'm doing it wrong, but I don't think so. I think what people mean when they say I only work a 10-hour work week is the fact that they love what they do, and 10 hours of their job is what they don't like to do. The other time, it's like me saying, oh my God, I only work a 10-hour work week because I hate doing my accounting. And all the rest of the time I'm coaching other people, and I do love that, but it's still work, it's still work and not
Yeah.
doing personal things. So one advice to people who are starting a new business, or I'm going to say even going into a next phase where they're upping their business, it's hard work. And like my private group, Actionable Entrepreneurs, like take action every day and learn from somebody. You know what? People are so afraid to invest in themselves to bypass the mistakes. And that is something that I was never afraid to do. And it's scary sometimes. You're spending a
Yeah.
lot of money getting, a coach or a training modules. It's scary sometimes. Listen to people who have done it, people who are there, and people who you can learn from. Like I just recently hired a coach that has a huge Facebook group. And I thought, you know what? I want to learn how to have a huge Facebook group. So let me hire him. I believe every coach always has a coach, or always should. I was a
Yeah.
personal fitness instructor years ago. I had a personal fitness trainer myself. Every psychologist has a psychologist, and like people, um, invest in yourselves, take action every day, and know that it's going to be hard work, but it's worth it. Let me just
Yeah.
read what
And
nature
what
is.
would you
Wait, I've been a full-time entrepreneur for 2 years, and I have to learn to discipline myself to stay consistent. Yes, very key to block out your time, to um, figure out your way. Again, it's a lot based on personality, which is why I like to work
right.
with people one-on-one, because once I get a good idea of their personality, I can give them the strategies um, to be successful with their personality. Creative entrepreneurs like interior designers often work in a completely different realm than somebody who's just very focused and comes from the business world. So the strategies
Yeah.
that I teach them are often a little different, just to make sure they're successful.
Now, recently we went through the branding process to rebrand yourself. Is
Ah,
there anything I mean, the branding company we hired or you hired, Braid, they were really great, but they really um, made you go like deep. And is there anything you learned about yourself through that process?
again, is there anything? I learned so much from the questions that they asked and the exercises they put forth. Um, I think that I learned to be authentic.
Yeah.
To be authentic. You know what? This is who I am. I like drinking wine on Fridays. I am kind of like a little bit of a hard ass kind of coach where I really try to keep people focused. I work my ass off for them. I'm not trying to be any other coach at this point, or like I used to in the beginning feel like, well, that's what that coach is doing and that seems to be successful. And I don't do that anymore. They help me really come up with the words that were they're so easy to roll off my tongue now because they were my words.
Yeah.
You know,
It was really a lot of like I was in on the branding process with you for sure. And I think what was interesting is how they had to kind of craft your image to be like you come from the corporate world. So
yes,
your website was very boxy, it was very corporate, it was
because
very
I'm very corporate. That's what I wanted.
because you're very corporate. So then we had to go in and kind of strategize, well, how do we make it seem a little bit more warm, but also put in the elements of your like hard ass personality because that's the type of coach you are. And I think we accomplished it, but I thought it was super interesting how, me and you are not creatives.
No,
Um,
no.
so it was certainly an interesting process, I think.
It was, you know what? And the bottom line was I come from the corporate world, so I wanted everything corporate, and that's what I'm used to being leadership. You know, everything's leadership
Right.
and management. But at the same time, when I coach my clients, I do have a warm element and an understanding component that they were able to draw out of me, even though I'm in denial of it. Right? I remember somebody said in one of the testimonials that they were surprised that I actually had a warmer touch to my coaching than they thought that I was going to have, but I still was able to move them forward. And I laughed at that. So I think my new branding kind of exhibits that. You know, I've been
Yeah.
through a lot of shit in my life, raising you guys and going through divorce from your dad. And in it's it's something that I understand when I'm coaching someone, but I also don't let them use it as an excuse for not being a better person, being a better business person, and taking action every day. Because I never
Yeah,
used it as an
for sure.
excuse for myself. So I think that comes across more in my new branding that I'm a real person
I think it
and
does.
less of just a leadership training. I hope.
Yeah, for sure. So
What else?
I
Anything else?
ran out of questions. Do we have any more questions?
Yay, we ran out of questions. You did a good job, I think, getting my real shit out of me here.
So, oh, I have one more question. So, your first coach, Shanda Sumter, she was very much of a she kind of portrayed her lifestyle as the ideal. And
Yeah.
I know that's something that you never want to be. You don't ever want to like show your lifestyle and say, you too can accomplish this if you do X, Y,
Well,
Z.
because I don't have her
So,
lifestyle. um,
but
it's not the way I sell myself. You know what? I think Sandra works really, really, really hard, and I give her a ton of credit for that. And I know she does, but she also knows how to take her time off and enjoy her time, travel, spend time with her family. And those are all things I want to do also. But I'm not looking to attract people on my lifestyle. I'm looking to attract people who are ready to take action and grow their business to the next level, not because they have the desire to be a multimillionaire, but because they're just looking to make a nice living and be able to learn how to balance family time and business and grow and make more sales. Listen, the bottom line is we don't want to be in business as a hobby. We want to be making money, right? I don't if you want your business to be a hobby, that's okay as long as you identify that. Like, you know what? My husband or wife makes enough money and I just do this as a side gig to keep myself busy and I enjoy it. I'm all for that. I mean, that's awesome if that's what you want. But if you're looking to make money, then you want to make money. I am not looking to be a trillionaire or a billionaire. I really just want to have choices. And that was the word that came up in branding. I want to be able to
Yes.
have choices. I want to say, if I want to go on this vacation, I can, because I've created a business that allows me to have that flexibility, and that I make enough money to be able to go on that vacation, fly to you guys, fly you guys into me, and spend my time enjoying myself and working hard. Like, that's the balance.
I have a funny question. So,
Uh-oh.
so
Thought we
one of
ran
the
out of
one of the
questions.
no, no, listen, I can always talk. Um, so one of the things I thought was the funniest thing that ever happened is when you were traveling and you were in some sort of hotel, and listen, tech problems are tech problems no matter where you go, but kind of the whole online coach ideal is the fact that you can travel. I can work from a hotel room.
Oh,
I can
yeah,
do
no.
this, I can do that. And you had traveled one time and you were like, you called me and you were like, I could, I can't get into the Wi-Fi, and the room's not the right temperature, and I have a coach to do, and this really sucks. What do you have to say about like,
Oh, yeah, no matter where you travel, you're going to have issues. You know what? And this wasn't even far away. It was Florida, and we're in New York. And I get there, and the hotel's like, well, you can use our computers, which is in like this general lobby area. And I'm like, okay, no, I'm doing a group coaching program. I need to share my screen. And there's Richie, who works for Microsoft. Great, boyfriend to have because of many things, but because of the tech support. And he's like trying to disconnect their computers in the lobby to see if he can plug me in. And they had them locked. And then I go up to the room and I'm moving all over trying to get
well, and then you
Wi-Fi.
realize like they didn't even have webcams or something.
You know what? Yeah, they didn't have webcams on the ones in the lobby. But anyway, I actually was on the phone with the hotel's tech support, and they really couldn't accommodate me. And so basically, what ended up happening is I had to find the spot in the hotel room and pray like hell that it didn't drop. And it actually did drop, I think, right? I
Like
dropped.
three
Yeah, like
times.
3 times. And I was doing it co-coaching with Luann Nagara, and she dropped also, I think, that session. Anyway, it was a disaster in that sense. But the bottom line is I took action. I kept going. I did it. And what's the worst case scenario? I have to make it up to the people who, were supposed, if it all failed, it's an email to my group saying, I am so sorry. I could not get online to do your coaching, and I will reschedule at a time, and I'll add value to it somehow. So, and I think
For
that's
sure.
the biggest lesson when it comes to tech screw ups. It's going to happen, and you can count on it, and you just have to realize it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. And we've done webinars where things have completely screwed up. We've done webinars.
You mean every single time?
We're getting pretty good at it, though.
We're getting pretty good at
We're
it, yeah.
getting pretty good at running around the house looking for a computer that'll work on this new platform. Um, but yeah, flexibility, realizing it's not the end of the world, are all features, characteristics you need to have when you run a business anyway. Nothing's ever going to go exactly as planned every time,
For sure.
right?
So when we end, let's just reiterate. Okay. So you have a group, actionable entrepreneurs, that I'm going to put in the comments. Everyone should
My
join if
private
you want
Facebook
to
group,
take
right?
action. Nancy's private Facebook group. And who are you coaching this year?
I am coaching interior design professionals. So that's interior designers and those who serve them, which is where I was in the industry for 15 years, and coaches who have been in business for a year or two and still have not been able to get themselves up and off the ground. I have a great um, new system I call the anti-summit model, where I'm teaching you how to uh, do a webinar in a certain way to get people on your calendar and close them into a sale. And for the interior designers, it's really all about increasing your visibility, creating a marketing plan, making sure you have the proper services, and getting confident in nailing your sales. right? And I think that's a really
Yes.
big one that I work with interior designers on, is confidence and nailing your sales. And quite frankly, that's really what I work with a lot of people on.
Yeah.
I'm a sales fanatic. I love everything about sales. I created my own sales formula that I teach people, a formula that works if you know how to work it. So, um,
Yeah.
and I'm really looking
So
forward
how
to
can people get in contact with you?
nancyganzakoffer.com, which, is where you can get on my calendar. You can get some free stuff that I give out. Um, hey, Joe. So interior designers, interior design professionals are, I spoke to somebody the other day, Kay Whitaker. We're going to be doing a joint webinar the other day. And I said to her, so who is your ideal client? She's like, I have two. And she had the same exact two as I have. She's like, half the year I market to my interior designers who I love to work with, which so do I. And half the year she markets to online entrepreneurs and other coaches, which is my other ideal client. So I'm going to be better at being clear. Joe, you can't join. Caden's here. Should we bump you out and let Joe come on for a second? Nope.
This is a Caden
Hey,
takeover.
okay, Joe, I'll tell you what. Next Friday is my birthday, and I'm going to do my weekend wind down. I hope I'm here. My weekend wind down Joe style, which means he's huffing and puffing. And I don't even have my glasses on, and I'm getting better at reading without my glasses. I'm going to do my weekend wind down Joe style and bring people onto the broadcast that want to come on. And if no one wants to come on, then I will just talk to myself, which
Basically what you do all the time.
exactly. He's going to blow the house down. Yeah, but Caden, if we let him on, Joe, then your whole network knows that I'm live. So maybe I should do that. What time is it? We
5:10.
we have a couple of minutes. I think I'm going to do this, Caden. Caden,
Okay.
you did a great job with this takeover. You asked me some
Thank you.
really good questions, and I am so proud of you for starting your own business, and being my ClickFunnels crazy, fabulous fanatic. I've never seen someone who loved ClickFunnels as much as you do. And you do all my landing pages that convert now and you did it for one of my
I think,
clients, and it converted at
yeah.
86 or 82, I think it landed at.
Yeah.
That's
Meaning out of every 100 people who landed on the page, 86 would have opted in.
that's
That's pretty crazy.
That's pretty crazy. That's pretty awesome. You're good at what you do. I am so glad you work for me. So thank you. And you'll be happier when you move out
Yes.
again. So, all right, I'm going
Okay,
to bump you
you
off.
can boot me
And
off.
all right, Joe, ask to join again. Let's get you in here. Let's see. Where's Joe? Joe, you're still here? All right, let's see if I can get you in. Let's see. I think you literally crack me up.
I jump on people's lives all the time.
You
I
are.
just got off of a live with Ian.
I was able to watch a little bit of it, but then I was getting ready for my own live, so I couldn't watch for long enough. And that's what happens. You do your lives a lot of the times where I can't watch. I'm like shopping yesterday, and I'm like, oh my God, he's got 12 people. Let me watch. And then I'm like, I'm at the register. And then let me watch, and I got to go.
That was crazy, though. We got everybody on. It went really well. I think that it works. And so you and I were talking. What time was that? Your time? You don't sleep?
Oh my God, you're
Last night?
insane. I wake up in the middle of 2 o'clock in the morning, and like a stupid person, I hear my phone go ding. So I look, and it's you. And I'm like, is he kidding me? I am not answering this. Right? Then I put it down. I try to go back to sleep. I'm like, oh shit, I can't sleep now. I gotta go answer it.
You gotta figure what are you up to now? Crap.
Oh my God. But the funniest part of, and I did catch the part of your live yesterday. So for those of you who don't know, Joe is the CEO of Design Wall with a Z, and he's creating all kinds of Facebook frenzy about this. And yesterday he was doing a Facebook Live, I guess around 12 people, right? One person at a time, but then you had them calling in to do a joint speaker call on your second phone, and you gave them somebody, you gave them the wrong number?
They were calling some lady, Jessica.
Oh my God. Did she text you and be like, why is everyone calling me? Like, how did that happen?
No, that was so bad. I mean, of all the things that could go wrong, Joe giving the wrong phone number. That was the problem.
Like you said, the low tech stuff is what caused you the problem. Oh, I was laughing so hard when I saw that. I'm like, oh my God. But I didn't get to watch yet.
It's live, so there's all that, you know. Honestly, I think it kind of makes it entertaining in a world of like the same old and prefabricated junk. Like this kind of forces you to be flexible, and it's kind of entertaining. Luann does the duct tape diaries.
I love her duct tape driving.
And how cool.
It's, you know, she talked about buying a mount, and I'm like, don't do the mounts because it's hysterical to watch. I'm watching your head go all around every time. Although I have to tell you, it's dangerous. She shouldn't be doing that, but I love her. She's.
I don't know how that works, officer. I'm not texting. Hold on.
Hold on, everyone. I'm getting pulled over. No, she's hysterical. So, yeah, you know, Kaden did a takeover today of my weekend wind down. It's a busy week for everyone. And I posted in my private group, Actionable Entrepreneurs, that, you know, who wants to do live? And Kaden's like, oh, my God, let me do it. And I want to take over and ask you questions. I was like a little scared, my son asking me questions. But I think he did a really good job. And I was telling him it's a little confusing for me as a business coach because I have two ideal client markets. One are interior designer professionals, which includes interior designers and those that support them, because that's what I used to do. Like you were you're more of a vendor, right? And in your past. And then I also coach other coaches and other online entrepreneurs. So I was talking to Kay Whitaker, who I'm going to be, I think she's on Luann's podcast this week. I haven't listened yet. When I was talking to her, because I'm going to be doing a joint webinar with her, I said to her, who are your ideal clients? And she's like, I have two. One are interior designers and one are kind of online entrepreneurs and coaches. I'm like, oh my God, that's the same as I have. I'm like, how do you handle that? Because I feel like I'm confusing people. And she said, I take half the year and market to interior design professionals. I take half the year and I market to online coaches. And I'm like, this is why it's so important to have collaborations and conversations with people, because that was like a light bulb for me.
While you woke up last night to
Joe,
and then you find me on your Facebook just messaging you. So my concept is, and I think so. We've got Julia Malloy.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that you're game for the 9th.
Yep, I'm on for the 9th. We're doing one of your crazy Facebook Lives.
I've got a couple more design industry specific business coaches.
Good.
And I'd like to do a panel discussion where you guys can all introduce and people can all meet you guys, and a few tips and tricks that you guys offer. I think it's a great way to cross-pollinate and for people to get to know more about you guys. I'm community building, so I've got nothing to sell unless you're a sponsor and you'd like to sponsor Design Talk Live.
Wait, weren't we supposed to talk today?
Yeah, I know.
You knew I was going to bring that up.
That's so hard. So, and you know, yesterday was our 9th episode. So this is all very, very new. The feedback that I've gotten from people, and I called a bunch of people, tried to follow up on the leads and all this stuff. And for you guys to kind of catch up on the progress on this one, I came back from High Point Market, saw my friends talking about the trends. So I kind of went off on a tangent. I had created an event for the next morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, and the title for this Facebook Live event was going to be F the Trends.
Yes, I remember
And
that.
that kind of got people's attention. We had 6 people call in that day, and I watched my numbers start to grow, and I was like, oh, wait. So when people call in, then Facebook notifies their network that they're live with me, and so that just starts growing my reach. So I was like, whoa, here's a formula, So so I asked people to share 50 times, and if they shared it 50 times, then I'd do another one. That second episode, or the first episode I do, because I don't even consider that. I consider that first one, F the Trends. I consider that the 0 episode.
Right.
I consider the next one my first episode, where we actually had a name to it in this whole bit. At the end of that call, for the next 3 days, I got calls from companies asking, hey, are you accepting sponsorship? Do you have numbers on all the people you're reaching? And I was like, no. And even if I gave you a sponsorship, did you not catch F the Trends? Did you not catch? So this doesn't buy you immunity, but it will get you in front of a lot of people. So yesterday's live, having 7 people on, and the caliber of people that were on.
Yes.
Oh man, Luann, Nick May, Rachel and Dixie from Design and
Great
Style.
lineup.
Tori Toad. Yeah. Claire, Jefford, and Samantha Parker. That network was crazy.
I saw last I looked.
Nick
You
May,
were. Oh yeah, don't forget Nick. Don't forget
yeah,
Nick.
no.
Last I
That
looked
caliber.
at 2 o'clock in the morning, you were probably up to like 1.2 thousand views.
Yeah, yeah. The best part is the reach, though. So right away, Facebook notified their entire network. Whether they watched or not, they were notified. So now Nick May's name showed up in front of all those people. So the amount of people we reached, we also had 20 people hit the share button.
Nice.
So why does that share button matter? Just off of the share buttons alone, Facebook says that on average, people have 1,200 followers on their network. I think me and Rachel, we have like 300 and you know what?
You're not talking about followers. You're talking about friends, because you're doing I'm doing this off of my personal page. I have 4,900 friends and 1,700 followers.
Yeah. So you and I, we have 93 mutual friends on your personal page and my personal page, right? So we've got 93 mutual friends. I have 3,500, and I think I'm getting to like 3,600 followers on Facebook. So right now, when I went live with you, the other 440 people all got notified that I was live with you.
Right.
So when that happened yesterday, we had not only the networks merge and get notified, but we also had 20 plus people hit share.
Well, like right now, I shared on, this is going off my personal page, which allows us to hit all our friends and all our followers from our personal page, but then I shared it on my business page, and I shared it in my private group. So you do the same, right? You come in on your personal page, but you share it on your business page to extend.
I share, yeah. Well, on the share buttons alone, because 20 people hit share yesterday, that reached 48,000 people. 48,000 people were notified that because of the share button. Now, the network that was on yesterday, just the network, just based off of my numbers, Nick's numbers, Samantha's, we reached 45,000 people. So now 1,000, I think we're at like 1,300 or whatever it is. Those people actually watched, but those 48,000 or whatever now, those people were all notified. So now they're even on the radar.
Right.
So right now, by jumping on right now, I introduced you to my 3,000 plus other people.
Well, why do you think I
So,
let you on?
yeah.
I'm no dummy.
So from the marketing standpoint, and I was talking with an interior designer the other day. I don't know if you've also caught. So I launched a Design FM radio.
Yeah, I
Did you
got a
see
little
that?
confused by that this morning, and I was going to private message you about that. I get the whole
Okay,
concept. I love it.
so what I've done with that is so again, people might know who Nick is, that Nick May is, the Chase Lounge, but they don't know who Luann is. Or they might know Luann, but they might not know Rachel and Dixie, right? So what if there was one page? What if we treated Facebook like it was a radio station, like Sirius XFM or whatever, right? What if we treated a company page like it was that? So I created Design FM Radio, and so you can submit your content, I approve it, and then it goes into the feed. So there's not all the other junk, it's full episodes. Like when you get done with this episode, submit it over, and then I'll post it to Design FM.
And that's the part that got confusing, because when you were talking, in the beginning you said post it to Design FM content creator, private Facebook group that you created, and you would vet it. And then later, I thought I heard, and this is what I was going to message you about, then also post it on Design FM. And I went, no, wait, you're vetting it. So we can't just post it to the other. We should post it into
the settings I have for Design FM is I approve. The only things that can get on there is if I approve it. So post it to the creators group, the private group. That's so that we can have conversation. This is all new.
Got it. Okay.
I don't know that, but I do know that Facebook is leaning towards programming and creating content and regular content. And if you could do talk show stuff like this, then Facebook is starting to value that. So I believe that I created the first radio station on Facebook.
I'm sure you did. Listen, you're the one who taught me how to do it this style, and I'm loving it. My reach is extending every week. And next week, did you hear? I don't know if you were on Friday for my weekend wind down. Friday's my birthday. So I may actually do it talk show style. If I get enough interest, I'll bring people on to, chat and ask questions. And of course, wish me happy birthday.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I know you'll be here next week.
I'm telling you, it's Friday. Friday, I'm actually going to be in San Diego.
So what?
For a meeting at 11 o'clock. I might.
San Diego at 11, 12, 1, 2. You're still clear. You're still free at 4:30 Eastern time.
I'll see about going live from the showroom that I'm getting a tour of a showroom.
That works. And
maybe I'll go live from there.
It's my happy birthday celebration. I'm going to have to wear a hat and get more special wine.
Use one of the filters.
Use one of the filters. Oh yeah, I could put a little something on my head, right?
Do the little.
Oh, that's
fox
funny.
ears.
So, all right. Well, I'm excited to be part of your live on the 9th, where you're bringing on coaches. And one of the things I wanted to mention is that what you did so well, which I try to get my clients to do if it's appropriate, is you did a survey in your group or on your page. What you did a poll. Who would you like to see as guests? And your number one thing, at last I looked at it, was coaches. And you listened, and now you're making your talk show on the 9th with all of us different coaches who coach interior designers. So I thought that was really, really smart. What did you just share? The Design FM radio. Yep. If you're in the design industry, click that link.
I've got, do you know Gail Doby?
Of course I know Gail. Yeah.
And then I've also got, so we'll see who joins us on this one. Pia Sylvia, Mary Knexted. Nexted?
Don't know her.
Marianne Williamson. I did message Tony Robbins. I don't know.
I love that. Good for you. Oh my God. If he comes on, I may not be able to talk. I'll be like, oh, that's fabulous.
I also messaged Michael Gerber, Alicia Wicker, and Neil Patel. Neil Patel is kind of up there too.
Yep, I know Neil.
So
I
we'll
know
see about
of
getting him
Neil.
on.
So I want to be able to come back on your show when I launch in January. I'm the president of the, well, I am now, but I'm launching it in January, the president of the virtual chapter of the Interior Design Society. So IDS Virtual is the first and only virtual chapter of an interior design society that I know. And I'll be the president starting in January. So we're going to have open meetings in the beginning. And then starting in the second quarter, they'll have to join, but it'll be incredible learning, collaborations, charity events. We're going to do it all virtually. Ian is actually on my board,
Oh,
Elizabeth
wow.
Scruggs, and
How do I get on that?
Monique Duarte. You know, too late. You can't get on my board, but you.
Why do I not get these offers? What am I doing wrong?
I don't think I knew you then.
Oh, man.
But you can become a virtual chapter member by joining IDS National as a vendor, or as a national sponsor if you want to do that. And then you just pay an extra $50 to be a member of the virtual chapter. And starting, you'll always be able to be part of that. And we do look, the sponsors, the higher level sponsors are the ones that we're going to be able to make presentations during the chapter meetings. So we're going to do it via Zoom.
Cool.
You know, 500 people in the IDS do not live near a physical chapter, right? An interior designer or interior design industry partners join the IDS. They get the national benefits, but they've never gotten the benefit of being part of a local chapter. So I've been a national board member at the IDS for a couple of years, and I went to them and I said, you know what, now that I'm doing the coaching and I've learned all this technology, I want to start a virtual chapter for all the members who don't have that sense of community and they're out on the outlying areas. And they were like, yeah, let's do that. So I became president and I picked a board. And so, yeah, Ian's on it, Elizabeth Scruggs, it is Monique Duarte, who is a business coach for interior designers as well. She's on the board. So yeah, that's one of my most exciting things coming up. So our first meeting in January, I don't know, I can't read my calendar because I don't have my glasses on, but I'll let you know. And I'd love to talk a little bit about that when we have a link for them to actually join. I don't have that yet, but when we do, I want to come on and talk about that.
I was just talking with
Liza. Now you can join. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were talking to who?
I was just talking with Tarsha McCurry.
Don't know.
She just did the Creative Pursuit School.
Okay.
So it was an online summit, and so it was pretty interesting. She pre-recorded episodes, interviewed different people. 25 people.
I've done those summits.
On certain days you could watch the video, and then we were available to comment and answer questions.
I'm on summits every week, and I do summits. I used to do summits myself where I interviewed people, 21 people. Now I teach other coaches what I call the anti-summit model. Because when you try to do one of those summits, your life gets turned upside down. And people don't always get to watch anymore 21 interviews. So if you end up being the one at the end of the 21 days, you don't even get watched. So, and you don't necessarily get people on your calendar and they don't become clients. So I teach my coaches the anti-summit model, which I'll teach you more about. But you did it when you were in their group answering questions?
Yeah. So we were talking about so I'm kind of doing these panels, and so that's kind of like that. The idea will be that it tees up people. I'm looking to connect people. I'm not a business coach. I'm not even Design Wall is a network. It's just it's getting people to connect that didn't know each other, didn't know those resources were there. I think in time that becomes valuable to people. I think it's valuable now. Right away it's valuable, but maybe that turns into money.
No, it's, you know what, it's monetizable. You're halfway there. You're doing a great job. You're an incredible connector, and you're teaching us all so much at the same time, which is great. And you're bringing the design community together, which is what you wanted to do.
You guys, the design community it amazes me. I just got off the live with Ian. I've been on with Sandra. I've been on with other people. I was on a panel at Abison, and I think Abison was the first time I said it like out publicly. A lot of designers say that they make things beautiful. I believe that you actually change the way that humans engage with the planet. In whether it's in a small way or it's in big ways, 100 years from now, the trends and the stuff that they're going to look back on it, and we were a part of that, and we're a part of how that's shaping the future of design. And if I could be a part of that helps people connect faster and easier through Design Wall, or now I've got this talk show, Design Talk Live, or Design FM, so that people can discover things. We're launching Design Wall Radio come this January for podcasters to be able to submit podcasts, and then like Pandora for the design industry. And again, it's the community getting to connect and learn from each other. I think it'll be amazing.
I think it's going to be amazing too. And my job is to help all the people making the beautiful changes to the world and communicating with the planet to make money doing it. And you too.
No.
Right? As a business coach, that's what it's all about. Make sure you're balancing your life, making money doing what you love. And that's my goal.
We're creative people. I know that I was the kid that grew up doodling and playing with Lego. So I was just a creative person, and because of that, it kind of came naturally. So if I got done with a piece of artwork, I was like, oh, I could change that. And people, they saw value in it, but I didn't necessarily, And so for that, I didn't know how to put a price tag on it.
Right.
And I think that that's a problem that we have as creatives. We're like,
absolutely.
Well, we're off to the next problem, and we love it.
Yes.
So
you do.
Look. So then we there you go. There's a filter.
I put on a filter. Let's see. I'm getting ready for Christmas.
I can't do a filter. Only you get to do filters.
I can't put you in a filter? Oh, look, I'm a princess. No. Okay, listen, I love talking to you, but I have to go because I am going with my boyfriend to go see a movie, and it's at 6:30, and I got to freshen up and finish my wine.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, look, I might wear my princess gown. I might wear this next week. This is so cool.
You should.
I'm a princess. Okay, oh, my God, that's so funny. So, all right, well, again, Joe Hecker, thank you for coming onto my live Design Wall and your Design FM radio. You put in the link. I'm Nancy Ganzikoffer, business coach to creatives, interior designers, and interior design professionals and business coaches. So come join me next week for my birthday weekend wind down. Woo! And I'll wear one of these filters and maybe do it as a calling show. Bring in different people. So
do it.
Okay. No messaging
Let us
me.
Celebrate with you.
Absolutely. No messaging me at 2:00 in the morning.
I can't promise that.
When I get back to my computer, I promise to share. Oh, see, my boyfriend's home. The dog's barking. He's ready to go to the movies.
Have fun tonight.
Thank you. And I'll share it to Design FM radio when I get back to my computer. Oh, thank you, Liza. Thank you for the thumbs up, and everyone for the hearts and thumbs up. Sharing is caring, as Joe says. So share our broadcasts whenever you see them, because that helps us extend our reach and help you guys more. So, all right. Thanks, Joe. I will talk to you soon. Bye. Bye, everyone.